الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
आज
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
मैं बदरी साहबा का जिक्र करूंगा.
Hazrat says that today
इनमें से
the companions who participated in Badr I am going to mention.
हज़रत तुलैब
The first one is
बिन उमैर का
Hazrat Tulayd,
उनकी कुनियत
son of Umair. His title was different.
की वालदा का नाम अरवा
The mother was Arwa,
की बेटी थी.
who was a daughter of Abdul Muttalib, who was the auntie of Hazrat Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. His title, as I mentioned, and he was from among the early Muslims. He accepted Islam at a time when the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to be in Dar Arqam. Abu Salma bin Abdurrahman says that Hazrat Tulayd bin Umair, he believed while in Dar Arqam, and coming out from there he went to his mother and said that I have believed the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and I have believed in Allah, the Lord of all the universe. His mother said that your support and help, they deserve your help. That is to say, the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So it is very good that you have believed in him. So she said that by God, if among us ladies we have got the strength like the men, then we would have followed him, and we would have supported him and defended him. Hazrat Tulayd told her, his mother, then you accept Islam, and why don't you follow the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? If these are your feelings. And he said that your brother Hazrat Hamza has also believed in Islam. So she said that I would like to attitude my sisters, then I will believe. Hazrat Tulayd says that I told her that I beseech you in the name of Allah, that you go to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and say the Salam and believe in him and give the witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah, and the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the messenger of Allah. At that his mother said that I also bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the messenger of Allah. After that she used to defend the cause of the Holy Prophet with her tongue, and also declare like that. Regarding that, it is mentioned that he was the first person who believed in Islam, and then he, to a person, adulterers, he was warned somebody who did some blasphemy against the Holy Prophet. Sahaba Sami, he was talking ill of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Hazrat Tulayd took the bone of the camel and injured him, and somebody complained to Arwa that why don't you see that your son, what he has done? So she replied that Inna Tulaban Nasr ibn Khalidin. She said that Tulayd, he has helped his cousin, and with blood and money he has helped him. And according to some, the person who was hit, Abu Ohab Darmi was the name, and the person who was injured was Abu Lahab or Abu Jahal. According to one narration, when regarding the attack on him, when the mother was complained, and she said that Tulad's life, the best day of his life is when he would be defending his uncle's son, that is the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who has been raised with truth. Hazrat Tulad, he was among those people who migrated to Habsha, and when this news received there, so some people came back. Hazrat Tulad was one of them who came back. As it has been mentioned earlier on, and some historians, according to Hazrat Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib, all of them, so they said that he said that it was not long when this information arrived that all the Quraysh have believed and there is all peace in Mecca. So some people they came back, and then later on they came to know that the news was wrong. A few weeks back, in this detail has been mentioned in one of my sermon. So anyway, he came back and he sought the protection of the leaders of Mecca, and then he came to know that all this information was wrong. It was false, and why this rumor was there, I have already mentioned the detail of that. It is no need to repeat it again here. Huzur says that anyway, when he came back, so then the Quraysh, because of that, when the companions went back, so they came back because the Quraysh, because of their persecution, that was increasing day by day. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ's instruction was that other Muslims, they were also migrating slowly, secretly. It is said that the immigrants towards Habsha, the counting was 101, and there were 18 ladies among them. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ, there were very few Muslims who remained with him. And when they came back and then they migrated again, so then these Muslims who went there earlier, that migration is generally mentioned by historians by the immigration to Habsha, the second one. And Hazrat Tulad, he from Makkah to Medina, he migrated. So then Abdullah bin Salma, he stayed with him. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hazrat Tulad and Munzir bin Umar, between them the mu'akhat, the brotherhood was established. And Hazrat Tulad participated in Badr, and he is counted among senior companions. In Jannah Adin, he participated, who was in the 13th year of Hijrah, and during this war at the age of 35, he embraced martyrdom. This is the name of the territory in Syria, where there was a fight between Romans and the Muslims. But according to some people, they say that he died in Jang Yarmouk, the Battle of Yarmouk. The next companion is Salim Mawla bin Bani Huzafa. His title was Abu Abdullah, and father was Makil. Hazrat Salim's father was Makil, and he was a resident of Istakar, and he is counted among senior companions, and he is also counted among the immigrants. He migrated to Medina before the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hazrat Salim and Muaz bin Muaz, between them Muakhat, the brotherhood, was established by him. Hazrat Salim, he was slave of Suwaita, who was the wife of Huzaifa, and she released her from the slavery, and there was the rule of the slaves that if somebody is set free once, and this free slave, if he dies, then the people who are going to inherit his property, so then the person who set him free, he is entitled to that. So Saiba is that slave who is released by his owner, and then he sets him free in the name of Allah. It means that after the death of that slave, the person who set the free, he will not have any jurisdiction or right over whatever he leaves behind. Hazrat Salim was Abu Huzaifa was taken as his adopted son, and after that Salim bin Abi Huzaifa was also, he used to be called like that. Abu Huzaifa is one of his niece. He got married to the niece of Huzaifa. It is said that when Allah the Almighty revealed this verse, Uduhum li'abaihim huwa aqsatu indallah fa illam ta'lamu abahum fa ikhwanukum fid din wa mawalikum wa laysa alaykum junahun fima akhtatum bihi walakin ma ta'ammadat qulubukum wa kana Allahu ghafurur rahima. It means that it should be that adopted people should be called in the name of the father. This is the translation. It is it's a best thing to do, and if you don't know that who is the father, then anyway they are your brothers in faith and they are your friends, and whatever you have done by mistake before, so there is no penalty upon you. But if you are determined to do something, then that is worthy of punishment. And Allah Almighty, for everybody who repents, He is most forgiving and very gracious and merciful. And after that it is said, Hazrat Salim, Mawla Abu Huzaifa, that was the way he was called. Previous to that, he was called as the son of Abu Huzaifa, but later on the slave who was set free, that change was there at that time. Mahmud bin Jafar says that when Hazrat Huzaifa and Mawla Bani Huzaifa, Hazrat Salim, when they migrated to Makkah, so they both stayed at the house of Bishr. Hazrat Umar says that earlier, the first immigrants, when they came from Mecca to Medina, so near the Quba, on the place of Usba, they stayed there. Hazrat Salim was their leader in prayer because he knew the Holy Quran better than others. Masroor bin Hunayda narrates that when we were in the company of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and stayed with him in Quba, there was a mosque in which the companions were offering the prayer towards Baitul Maqdis, and Hazrat Salim, Mawla Bani Huzaifa, used to lead the prayer. Hazrat Salim, he was the Qari reciter, good reciter of the Holy Quran. He was among the 49 companions regarding whom the Holy Prophet ﷺ had said that you learn the Holy Quran from these companions. Hazrat Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib writes that in knowledge, some freed slave, they attained very high status. Salim bin Maqil, he was from very learned companions, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ, regarding the education of the Holy Quran, the 4 companions who were appointed for this purpose, Salim was one of those. And moreover, he writes that according to the history, that Salim bin Maqil, who was also a freed slave, but in his knowledge and understanding he was so much advanced that the Holy Prophet ﷺ, those 4 people the Holy Prophet ﷺ appointed for the teaching of the Holy Quran and from among the Muslims, and in this matter they were considered to be competent to be his subordinates, so he was one of them. And in one narration it is said that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that you learn the Holy Quran from these 4 companions, and Abdullah bin Masud, Salim, Mawla bin Huzaifa, and Ubay bin Ka'b, and Hazrat Muaz bin Jabal. These were the 4 companions. In one narration it is mentioned that once Hazrat Aisha Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha, she was delayed coming to the Holy Prophet, and when he asked the reason for that, so she said that one Qari was reciting the Holy Quran very beautifully, so I just stopped there listening that, and that's why I am delayed. The Holy Prophet ﷺ and got his sheet and went outside and saw that Hazrat Salim was reciting. At that he said that thanks to Allah Almighty, that Allah Almighty has created such a Qari like you in my ummah. At the time of Battle of Uhud, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he got injured, then he had the honor of wiping away the wounds of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Qatada says that on the day of Uhud, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, his forehead and his teeth, and that was in between the 2 teeth, they got injured. And Hazrat Salim, he was washing the wounds, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ was saying that how this nation is going to get something good, who has treated their messenger like that. At that the Holy Prophet ﷺ revealed this verse, لَيْسَ لَكَ مِنَ الْأَمْرِ شَيْءٌ أَوْ يَتُوبَ عَلَيْهِمْ أَوْ يُعَذِّبَهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ ظَالِمُونَ. Meaning that you don't have any right whether you incline to them accepting their repentance or you punish. They are certainly those who are the wrongdoers. Hazrat Salim says that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that on day of judgment there is one nation will be brought. This is something worthy to be listened very carefully, that at the day of judgment one nation will be brought, that their good things would be equal to the mountains of Tehama, that on the seaside there was a area which is called Tehama, and there is a series of the mountains which from the Bay of Kulzum starts, and their good deeds are equal to the size of the mountain of Tehama. And when they will be presented, then Allah Almighty will destroy all their things, all their deeds, and then this will be put into the fire. And Hazrat Salim said that, O Prophet of Allah, that my parents may be sacrificed for your honor. Please identify these people for us so that we can recognize these people, and by that being who has sent you with truth, I am very much afraid about me, that I should not be among those people, one of them. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said that there would be such people. This is something very important, worthy to be listened, that there will be people who will be fasting, they will offering the prayer, and at night time they would be sleeping very little and offer the effort. But when this something unlawful is presented, sometime in the greed of the worldly things, they would get trapped into this temptation, and they will not make a distinction between lawful and unlawful. Therefore Allah Almighty will wipe away all their good deeds. Hazrat Soban says that the Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that in my ummah I know about some people who on the day of judgment they would be having such deeds equal to the size of the Hamma, shining, but Allah Almighty will spread all these things in the air. And then according to one narrator says, Soban said that please tell us some indication of these people and tell us clearly so that we should not be among them and we should not be we should be knowing about that. He said, the Holy Prophet said, they are your brothers, their skin is just like that, they are from the same family, and they also get up for the prayer during the night just like you, they would be worshipping, but they are such people that when they go to those things which are forbidden by Allah Almighty, so they violate this commandment. They do not realize the importance, what is lawful and what is unlawful. They partake from that and the worldly concept overtakes them. So this is the point to be considered all the time, and one should be afraid of it, and everybody should be given the opportunity to analyze oneself. Hazrat Abdullah bin Umar, his son, Hazrat Umar said that, do you know that why I have named my son as Salim? He said that I don't know. At that he said that I have given him the name of Salim on the name of Salim bin Huzaifa. And then do you know why I named my son as Waqid? That is on the name of Hazrat Waqid bin and do you know that why I have named my son as Abdullah? And I said no. Though he said that Hazrat Abdullah bin Rawaha, on his name I have named him. So the companions, who was very senior companions, they used to be always put their names with some special considerations and on the names of the previous senior people. And Abdullah bin Amr says that in one expedition, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, we were with him, and some people got worried. With my weapon, when the battle started, some people got worried. I took my weapon and went out. So I saw Hazrat Salim Maula Bani Huzaifa. So he also had his weapon, and he was very satisfied, and his face was, and there was no worry, and he was moving forward. So I said that I would follow this pious man until we reached the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and we sat with the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, he came out in a displayer that why people you are worried. Have you been tired of this thing, that as these people have shown the courage, why have you not shown like that? Nobody should be worried. As Hazrat Salim and the other companion, they went like that without any anxiety and worry. Ibn Ishaq says that at the victory of Mecca, and after that, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, so he sent some expedition to the neighboring towns so that they may be invited to Islam. But these troops, they were not allowed to fight. They were sent for tabligh and not to fight. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ told Khalid bin Walid toward one tribe, bin Khazima, and when they saw Khalid, so they immediately took the weapons. Hazrat Khalid said that people have accepted Islam, there is no need of taking the weapons. And somebody said that I am not going to surrender. At that, Hazrat Khalid said that I have to, if I am captured, then I am going to be beheaded. And the people of his nation, they captured him and asked him that, do you wish that your blood should be shed? And the people have surrendered and the war is over, and took the weapons from him, and he also surrendered. And when this thing happened, then Hazrat Khalid, some people were killed after that, and some were taken as prisoners. And one prisoner was handed over to the Muslims. and then they were commanded to kill those people. And Hazrat Salim said that by Allah, I'm not going to kill that, and nobody from my friend will do that. Ibn Asham says that one person out of them came and he went to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and narrated the whole thing. He asked that has anybody disliked this attitude of Hazrat Salim? The Holy Prophet ﷺ did not like that. Did they dislike this? So one person with a small height, he expressed the displeasure. Khalid scolded him, and then he kept quiet. And another person who was very tall, he showed displeasure. Then Khalid also fought with him. So there was a foul, harsh language exchange. And then he said that, O Prophet of Allah, I know both of them. One is my son Abdullah, and the other is Salim Mawla Huzaifa. Ibn Ishaq says that after that the Holy Prophet ﷺ asked Hazrat Ali to come in and said that you go to these people and look into this matter, what happened, why happened. And all the matters of period of ignorance, they should be trampled upon. So Hazrat Ali, so he went with that provision which was given to Hazrat Ali, and there was some provision sent along with him, and all the losses that the people have suffered, the diyat, the penalty of that was paid out of that, because this loss was done by mistake. So diyat, the compensation, was given to them. There were still some provision left. So, and then he asked that, is there any penalties still due? They said no, everything is all right and matter is settled. At that Hazrat Ali said that I give the remaining thing to you, because what the Holy Prophet ﷺ knows you do not know. So he gave them all the provision, and he came back to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He came back and he informed him about this, that I have done this. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said that you have done this work very properly, and facing the Qibla, 3 times he prayed, Allahumma inni abra'u ilayka, that, oh my Allah, that what Khalid bin Walid has done, 3 times I expressed my displeasure for that. It was something very wrong which was done, and he has done injustice to himself. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ not only showed his displeasure, but also compensated, and this penalty was, compensation was given. And also he did all the means to console these people who were injured and harmed. So despite the fact that they were enemies and they raised the sword against Muslim, but he did not like that this should have happened. So this was the quality of the justice of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He said, Ibrahim bin Hanzala, he narrates from his father that in the battle of Yamama, on that day, Hazrat Salam Mawla Bani Huzaifa was said that you look after the flag. Some said that we are afraid of his life, so we will appoint somebody else to take care of the flag. Hazrat Salim said that I have got great knowledge of the Holy Quran, and despite that, if I do not act upon that one, I will be very bad. It will be very bad on my part. Or maybe that because of the fear of life and the commandment of Allah, the Holy Quran is there, I will be trying to deviate from that. So what is the benefit of such a knowledge? Anyway, during the battle, when his right hand was cut off, so he took the flag in the left hand, and when the left hand was cut off, so then he pressed under his neck, and he said, وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ وَكَأَيٍّ مِّن نَبِيٍّ قَاتَلَ مَعَهُ رِبِّيُّونَ كَثِيرٌ. That seems that the Holy Prophet ﷺ is only Allah, the Messenger of Allah Almighty, and there were so many prophets with other knowledgeable people. They fought with him. When Hazrat Salim fell down, so then he asked the companions that how is Abu Huzaifa? People told that he has been martyred. So then he asked another person by uttering his name. So what? And he was told that he is also martyred. Hazrat Salim said that you make me lie down between the two people. And when he got martyred, so then his dead body was sent there. He was the one who freed him, but he did not accept the body. But I have just freed him in the sake of Allah, for the sake of Allah Almighty. So the penalty of that was deposited in the Baitul Mal, the Islamic treasury. In Battle of Yamama, when the Muslims dispersed, Hazrat Salim said that we with the Holy Prophet ﷺ, we did not used to do like that. Means that we did not run away, and we stood there. And at that time, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he had the flag of the immigrants, and he stood there and died as a martyr. And on the Battle of Yamama, who was in 12 Hijri, he passed away in that, and that was during the period of Hazrat Abu Bakr. Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit narrates that when Hazrat Salim got martyred, so people said that as if the 1/4 of the Holy Quran has gone. So out of that means that the 4 ulama which were named by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, one of them has passed away. The next Sahabis, Iqban bin Hazrat Iqban bin Malik. He was from Khazraj tribe, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hazrat Ibn Umar, and between him the brotherhood was established. He participated in Badr and Uhud, and during the life of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he lost his eyesight, and his death was during the period of Hazrat Muawiyah. When the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he came to Medina, so then Iqban bin Malik, along with his companions, he received him and requested that he should be staying with us. But the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that leave my she-camel, and she is under command, and wherever Allah Almighty wills, she will stop there. Hazrat Umar says that me and a neighbor from Ansar, Banu Umayyah bin Zaid, is the name of the township. We used to live there, and this is from those villages near the Medina, which was at a high place, lofty place, and turn by turn we used to go to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. One day he would go, and one day I would go. And when I used to go, then so all the revelation and other news, I would bring back the news, and when he would go, so he would also do the same. Once my Ansari companion, he went on his turn, and he knocked my door very forcefully and asked about me, that is he in. So I was worried. I came out. He said, a great incident has happened. Hazrat Umar said that I went to Hazrat Hafsa, and I saw that she is weeping. I said, the Holy Prophet ﷺ has given you the talaq, the divorce. He said, I don't know. She said, I don't know. I went to the Holy Prophet ﷺ that have you divorced your wives? He said, no. So I said, Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest. According to narrations, some detail is also found there, that one incident is mentioned that for 1 month, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he separated himself from all the wives, but also from the companions. And because of that, this feeling was there as if he has divorced his wives. Anyway, whatever the reasons are, but this was not the case. Hazrat Sayyid Zainul Abidin Waliullah Shah Sahib, in the commentary of the Bukhari, he has written, if somebody from what Hazrat Umar said that one day I would go and the other day somebody else. If somebody is very busy and he does not find time, so one can fix a turn with other people, as Hazrat Umar fixed the turn with another companion. So this indicates the eagerness of his companions to go the knowledge, and they used to do the work and then go turn by turn. But Allama Anni, another scholar, in the commentary of Bukhari, Umdatul Qari, he mentions that the Itban bin Malik was the neighbor, Hazrat Umar, and this is, but there was another name which was mentioned. Anyway, Hazrat, whatever he has mentioned, that seems to be right. And one narration, when Hazrat Uqban bin Malik, when he lost his eyesight, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he sought permission from the Holy Prophet ﷺ that please permit me, I cannot come to the mosque. The Holy Prophet said that, do you hear the voice of Azan? Hazrat Uqban said, yes, I do. At that the Holy Prophet ﷺ did not permit him. This is a very famous hadith which is generally presented, but the detail of that is, there is some detail which is like this, that according to Sahih Bukhari says that later on the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he did permit him to offer the prayer at his home. First he forbade him, but then gave the permission. In Bukhari the narration is that Uqban bin Malik, he used to lead the prayer of his people, and he was blind, and he said the Holy Prophet ﷺ that, O Prophet, there is some darkness and there is some water flowing in the streets, and I am blind, so permit me to offer the prayer at home. One day he said that it's very difficult for me to hear. You please come to my house, and I have allocated a place, so you pray there. The Holy Prophet ﷺ went to his house. Where would you like that I should offer the prayer? So he pointed out to a certain place, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ offered the prayer there. So therefore, if in special circumstances one has to, if the permission was there, according to other narrations, it is proved that he used to lead the prayer over there, collecting the people because of the weather or the difficulty of the passage. If the people could not go there, so he would gather these people. So even if the permission was given later on, so that was only for a thing. There they would be holding the prayer in congregation. Explaining this point, Hazrat Sayyid Waliullah Shah Sahib, in the commentary of Sahih Bukhari in Kitabul Azan, Rukhsat fil Matare Ayusalli fi Ahl, that because of rain the permission is there to offer the prayer. In this detail he mentions that Imam Bukhari, he is expressing those conditions where a person can be exempt from the prayer in congregation, but the Holy Prophet ﷺ even asked him that you should not be offering the prayer alone, that you just offer the prayer by yourself. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, he would generally used to keep lenience and grace in that. Some provisions were there, but in this matter the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he did not permit him to offer the prayer alone, and he said that you have to offer in congregation. Hazrat Uqban was a blind person, and there was water flowing in the way, and some narrations say that when he sought the permission, but the Holy Prophet ﷺ gave him the permission at the end, but he said that it should be offered in congregation. In that case the permission is there. The prayer is a one obligation which can be offered alone, but as he was disabled, so he could have been given the permission. But this point should be remembered always, that here as well, if the distance is long, the vehicle is not available, and the time is not there, as I have mentioned many times, the Ahmadis should also do, as I have mentioned many times, that they should establish Salat center, and the neighbors, they should get together and offer the prayer in congregation. Allah Almighty enable all the people to follow these commandments. Now I'm going to lead the janaza prayer. I'm going to mention some detail about it. Ghulam Mustafa Awan Sahib of Rabwa, 16th March, 78 years he passed away. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. He was born Ahmadi. The Ahmadiyyat came to their family through his grandfather. He was very regular, 5 daily prayers, offering tahajjud, very kind and very courteous and kind and very good natured. He was hospitable. He was helping the poor people and helping them, and he was giving preference to religion, very devout person. He has close attachment with the Nizam Jamaat and Khilafat. For some time he stayed in Saudi Arab, and during this period he was 9 times he had the opportunity to perform the Hajj, and countless times he performed the Umrah. He also had the opportunity of doing some building work in Khana Kaaba and Masjid Nabi. He was a Musi. And suddenly when he fell ill, then the greatest worry was that I have to pay my dues, and Allah Almighty gave him the health, and he sold one part of his property and paid all the dues. And he has left behind his wife and 1 son who is in Germany, and 4 daughters, 2 sons and one is a missionary in Gambia, and Tabassum Sahib is in Russia. They are, as a devotee, they are serving the cause of the community. His daughters, those who are married to these missionaries, and they are abroad with their devotees people, and they were not able to go to Rabwa at the time of his demise, so they had to suffer this grief as well. Allah Almighty give them the courage and endurance to bear this loss and also exalt his status. The second one is Karuma Amatul Hai Sahiba, wife of Katgadi Sahib. She passed on 15th of March. She related to Qadian, a neighboring village, Bagol. She was 2 years that her father died, and uncle looked after her. She was born Ahmadi, and in his family, in 1930, the Ahmadiyyat came to this family, and after the partition, she migrated to Pakistan and settled in Jadawala. And then from there, in 1981, she migrated to Rabwa for the education of the children, and she stayed there for all the time. She was a Musia, and she was given 6 sons and 5 daughters. 1 daughter died in infancy. She started devoting her children and generation by generation this system is Rana Farooq Ahmad Sahib, Nazarat Dawat Alillah, he is a missionary there, and Hafiz Mahmud Ahmad Tahir, he Jamia Ahmadiyya Tanzania, he is teaching there. They could not go for the janazah of the mother. 1 grandson is a missionary, another grandson is also missionary, and 1 grandson and 1 granddaughter is Hafiz Quran, and they have got married, his children, to the devotees of life. Hafiz Mahmud Sahib, his son, says that our parents, they always emphasize the service to Kama and also attached us with the Khilafat and make us regular in prayer. And they made us, he was very fond of Tabligh and preaching. And and from the mother, all the family members, they were non-Ahmadis, and she used to preach them as far as possible. And as a result of this preaching, one of her brother, Abdul, one of his brother, was able to accept Ahmadiyyat, and his progeny is also serving the Jamaat. In Shorecourt, when she was there, and in 73, when the time was very tough for Jamaat, very boldly she spent the time there, and she did not show any worry or anxiety. And in the riots of 74, one day the wife of the Nambardar came to our house and gave the message that the procession is coming to attack on the Ahmadi houses, so the people should go to the crops and hid there. And the mother replied that we will stay here in the home, whether we live or die. And in those days, once the procession came to their homes, there was no man at the house at that, and only the sisters and mother was there. So she said that she took the one axe in her hand, and she was moving there, and somebody said, attack this house. And she replied that if anybody jumped into her house, then I will cut your head from the body, and I will do the same thing as the Hazrat Safiya did, and threw the enemy outside. Looked at this courage, the enemies, they went back. In 71, one of his son, who was in army, he was taken as prisoner of war. 3 years he remained there, and very steadfastness was shown. And as soon as he came, he presented himself to Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis, the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Our mother was deeply in love with the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and whenever she used to talk at home, and she used to say, tell me something about the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. At the last moment, she was talking about the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the promised Messiah Alayhi Salatu Wasalam, as if they are coming. Allah Almighty forgive her, and also forgive her and exalt her station, and also enable his progeny to continue the virtues she followed.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد